In Destiny 2, there is a place where no person wants to go, where the sweat of pubescent teens overrides the senses, and where the hope for humanity dies. A place where the average player enters but leaves a changed man, broken and decrepit, where you can hear the horrible sounds of meta weapons and stompy hunter double jumps. And that place is called the Competitive Playlist. And today, we're going flawless in it, Passage of Mercy style. We just need to get 7 wins in a row with only 1 loss allowed in between them, and if we fail, we have to continue our disgusting sweat-covered journey. So, join me today as we take on this tremendous feat as we're going in alone. Let's get into it. Starting out, game number 1 was on Radiant Cliffs, and it didn't start out really well at all. We lost the opening engagement around B, which caused us to be down on points for the next 2 engagements. But after respawning, I got a nice double, which allowed us to control the center of the map. We then tied the game up at 7 points, and after grabbing heavy, we were able to pull ahead. After a few gunfights, I was able to transcend, and I threw by missing both of my needles at point blank range. But after this embarrassment, things got better as 2 of the players on the other team left. The other team was left with only 1 person, and I honestly felt bad beating them. But I'm no stranger to seeing stuff like this, as I was left in the same situation in my last video. But we ended their suffering relatively quickly and added our first win to our passage. We traveled to the Anomaly for game number 2. This match starred me as the third wheel to a clan duo, and another solo player doing the same thing on the other team. And even though I tried to get something going by myself, I just wasn't able to finish off the enemy players as well as I needed to. The enemy team played very close together, which didn't provide me many opportunities to pick them off one by one, as that's what I was trying to do as the solo player. I did have my plays here and there throughout the match, but the other team just played together better than we did. We lagged behind the entire match due to them having excellent mid-map control. We unfortunately ended the match 7 kills behind the other team, but that just cost us our mercy, so we had no choice but to move on to game number 3. Game number 3 took us to Eternity, and I was able to show off my other build for this challenge. Originally, I was running with the classic hand cannon shotgun loadout, but now I was able to use Red Death. 1, because I wanted to get the catalyst, and 2, I haven't really had the chance to use this gun in a competitive setting. Red Death took a little bit to get used to, but after it felt really good. Its ability just to tuber someone down felt like butter on this map, and we pulled ahead really early in the game. So, without any danger of losing, I actually really enjoyed this match, as I was able to do a bunch of goofy plays like maneuvering this field of swarm grenades with my eager-edged sword. And it was also really easy, because one of my opponents was running a Wither Horde and an auto rifle, with the other one running a bow. This match was such a good breath of fresh air for me, and we won the match and went on to game number 4. This game took place on Distant Shore, and I kept the Red Death on because it really impressed me from last game. We started out strong by sending this guy off the map with our Lightning Surge, but our objective wasn't kills this time around. We had to control the zone in order to win. The beginning was a struggle as we traded off the zone a few times, but eventually we were able to pull ahead. I did get stuck in my radar after these 2 kills, so I didn't even see this res going up, but me and my team were able to save it. We were leading the enemy team by 40 points, but towards the end, they started to catch up. The final zone came up, and if they controlled it, they would win the game. What's worse is they still had a super that they could use to win this game. And I don't know if it was just dumb luck or them making the wrong play, but we were able to kill the super, and we retook the zone. We waited for the points to slowly tick up to 100 and watched as they took that super to orbit, as we won game number 4. The next game took place on the Citadel, and this game featured not 1, not 2, but 3 prismatic hunters on the other team, all running smoke bombs and threaded specters. For the entire match, my radar lit up like a Christmas tree, and I didn't know if the ping around the corner was another player or just a smoke bomb. I swear, if I get smoke bombed, swarm naded, or just blocked by another threaded specter again, I'm going to lose it. But outside of the plethora of abilities that they threw at us, we were just simply better at the fundamental gunplay in this game. But I'm going to take a quick minute to talk about prismatic hunters. Their kit is fully equipped with what defines the hunter identity in PvP, which is fast escape options and extended area denial. This makes them so frustrating to play against, as originally hunters would only have a few choices per subclass in the past for these. This can include things like trip mine and swarm grenades for solar, smoke bombs and tether for void, silence and squall plus dusk field grenades for stasis, and threaded spectre for strand, and that's not all of their options. But prismatic hunters can have most of these equipped at the same time, allowing them to just cover an area for so much longer than a normal hunter. And what makes them even more frustrating is that if you decide to nerf Prismatic Hunter, you're also nerfing the monochromatic counterpart. This makes performance for hunters drop across the board, as you can't just nerf one subclass without tweaking the other ones. But if you have any ideas on how to nerf Prismatic Hunters or change it, or if you just think it's fine how it is, leave a comment and I'll try to respond to start a discussion. But now, back to the challenge. Our team was able to control the center of the map, which allowed us to pull ahead. The other team somehow wasted all their supers towards the end of the match, and with no real threat of losing, we were able to finish off game number 5 with a win. On the Altar of Flame, we started out game number 6, and this one was tough. I threw on my Red Death and encountered the most annoying build that I've ever seen. It was an Arbor Warden suspending barricade build with Jotun. And after being killed by it once, I got so frustrated that I made it my duty to destroy this guy. The other team made it really hard to do this though, as we fell behind super quickly. The gap kept growing and growing despite our desperate attempts to catch up. I knew something had to change, so I switched over to my Rose. And after a close call, I was able to make a little play happen, but I just needed a little more range, so I threw on the Ace of Spades. But the gap kept getting farther and farther apart, and soon they only needed 5 kills to win, with us needing 13. I thought the game was a total loss, but in a miracle of events, my teammate was the first to pop his super, allowing me to chain mine into their spawn. The cap grew a little smaller and we pushed into their new spawn as they wasted both their Twilight Arsenal and their Blade Fury on trying to kill my one teammate. With this, we pulled ahead, bringing the score to 33-32. I transcended and got another kill, bringing the score to 34-32. But the Titan brought his axe all the way from his spawn from literally 20 seconds ago and put me down, bringing the score closer together. This could have gone either way, but with a clutch snipe from my teammate, we came back and won the game. And after such a close game, we went straight into game number 7. I threw on Thorn and found 3 more Prismatic Hunters, and oh my freaking god, the amount of smoke bombs and swarm grenades was double of those the previous time. I probably heard at least 50 smoke bombs go off in the first half of the match, and if I had a live mic on, you have just heard me saying I hate Prismatic Hunters on repeat through the entire match. But I locked in and showed these hunters that we were just simply better. My shots and abilities just kept landing and we pulled ahead really fast. We got 50 points ahead of the other team, and even though they tried coming back, I decided to just end the match with my super, wiping them twice. And as assurance, I threw myself at them at the very end, so they couldn't even have a little bit of hope to get the zone back at all. We ended game number 7 with a total win. And so now, here we are, game number 8. This game decides whether we win the challenge or if we have to completely restart. I was so nervous for this match, as I didn't want to reset if I lost, because all of those countless games would mean nothing. But we steeled ourselves and loaded into Bannerfall. Starting out, my team pushed ahead towards middle, but we quickly got wiped by the enemy team. We all respawned and went back in, but got wiped again. Things were not looking good for this match, and soon we were lagging behind by 8 points. But the third time around, we locked in, and I managed to send them all back to spawn. This gave us control of heavy, which allowed us to catch up to them. I was still super nervous though, as I considered our teams equal in terms of skill. This match would just go to whoever wanted the win more. Each of our teams were cohesive units as we traded off kills left and right. At no point was my team truly ahead of the other, as we would pull ahead, the other team would just catch right up. I pulled out my sweatiest tactics for this game as we entered the last part of the match. And so after so many trades and close gunfights, their team started to play separately from each other and we picked them off one by one until we eventually won the game, completing our flawless card and winning the challenge. And so overall, this challenge turned out to be much easier than I expected. Typically, comp goes either one of two ways. You either win a bunch of games or you just get curb stomped by a gang of sweaty hunters. Luckily, I found teammates who fit my playstyle, which got us the wins that we needed. Some major takeaways are that mid-map control wins games just as much as good gunplay can. Also, it's way more important to play with your team rather than trying to lone wolf your games. Thank you so much for watching, and leave a like if you enjoyed the video and subscribe for more Destiny content in the future. I do plan on streaming again soon, but I need to figure out a good schedule for it. For now, I'll probably just put out a post on YouTube or my other socials when I do, so keep a lookout for those. But enough of all that, thank you so much for watching, like and subscribe, and peace out.